precious one. We need to get real and talk about some shit. Because I'd be a terrible mom if I didn't come in here and make sure you knew what was up. We've been hijacked. God, I hate saying that, but it's real. And so any of you who have been maybe doing plant medicines or maybe been working in the galactic spaces, things aren't as they seem up there. Because our discernment, our sovereignty has fucking amplified, y'all. And this is good. But where it's not good is when you are unaware or when there are things hiding in the shadows. So we're going to talk a little bit today about some ways of protection. Always feels too strong to me because I think as soon as we put up protection, then there are beings who are like, ooh, what does she need to be protected from? So it's not that. It's ways of standing in your power, using your discernment, and I want to make sure we have a couple of tools in here too, and how to know when it's a false guide. So essentially what I have noticed and heard maybe throughout our community is that as soon as the Galactic Federation started trending, a whole lot of people put their consciousness on like, well, I want to go up there, which left us rife for fucking false possibilities. So right now what's happening is that we have a timeline. No, let's not even make it a timeline because it's not that big. There's a false access point. There are very few teachers of galactic consciousness who are the real fucking deal, who have gained the experience to know how to get you up there. So I want you to make sure that you are checking in with yourself before you're working with any teacher, even if it's fucking somebody that you've worked with for forever. I need a new check-in. This is the diligence that is required. The diligence and the vigilance of constantly not being on guard, because there's not a stress or a fear to this, but there is instead a like, I know what the fuck is up. Any of you who went through dream school, well, we also got some new tools in there to be able to perceive what is real and what is not real. But what came into my purview of... I don't know what the words are. I was asked last week to help with something on the galactic levels because there was a false Galactic Federation. As soon as everybody heard the word, everybody wanted access, and so it looked like there was literally like a false door. There was a facade of Galactic Federation, and as soon as you got inside, blah, 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 they're going to do whatever the fuck they want, but it was not true Galactic Federation. The true Galactic Federation, bitch, you don't have access to that unless you have earned access to that. And that's not about hierarchy. That is, again, about this container of power. How well are you holding it? How well have you tended it? This is what's going on right now. So the false guides who are coming in are there to mislead you. False guides, false prophets. These will be the people who you may have been watching for a long time that all of a sudden don't feel right to you anymore. Or you find yourself as you're listening to them zoning out. Fucking pay attention. That zoning out is not you not having focus. That zoning out is some layers, some sheen of protection that's coming in. And you're like, I don't need that right now. That's a higher self act of benevolence, not you being lazy or unfocused. Cool. Great. So the words that I like to use for this that don't feel so scary because it's not truly a possession. It's not that deep. What's happened instead is that they've just kind of like fed in a little bit. You've got this curiosity that's led over here and they're like, ooh, let's just, so maybe look at it like a cord that has been plugged into the wrong source. You're going to unplug those cords. So whatever type of cord cutting you know, coming back to yourself, we're not going to do a cord cutting. We're going to do a couple of other things, but cool. No, cool. So the words that I've used over the years, not always benevolent, but they are not scary enough that we're like, oh God. So you've been hijacked, you've been contaminated, or you have a hitchhiker. Those things don't feel quite as frightening, right? Find the languaging that works for you where you're like, oh, there's something in here that shouldn't be. And you will know it within your gut. You will know if it's up here as a thought of like, oh, I'm scared that blip, 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 blip. That's anxiety. That's different. This is that thing that whenever you read about it or hear about it, something in your belly is like, oh shit. That's a different feeling. So the tool that we're going to give you today is a very easy one. We're just going to do this one first. The Egyptian word is sa. 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 So anytime that you put sa at the end of a word, a name, a being, a space, it calls in the highest vibrating essence of, the divine source code of. So in this case, if I'm working with Hathor, I'm going to call in Hathor Sa. If I'm working with Freya, Freya Sa. And I want you to recognize this is not just an Egyptian tool. The hekaus that we use in the Egyptian, the magic language of the Egyptians, it is a seed language, much like Sanskrit would be. So it's not that you need it to be within any cosmology or any group of beliefs or understandings. These are bigger, these are older. The codes that we're working on are predating any belief system. They're the true codes. So Sa, I want you to just practice that a little bit. Anytime that you're working anywhere, you're calling in not only your own Sa, Ong Sa is what we use around here, Ong Sa, which means hail to the source that I am, hail, and calling forth this divine knowingness of you. That's an easy one. When you're working with any other being or beginning any other practice, Sa is a very good thing to do as well. They would also like us to talk for a moment about setting that container of your sacred space. Because when we have done this for a while, we get a little lazy with some of the protocols. Did you see that? That was a cute little Morgan Garza little paw hand over there. Cool. Guess who I get to see later. Thanks. Cool. So setting these containers for yourself would be a very good idea to do right now. The other thing that I've got going is I have got altars right now where I am actively feeding the agents of chaos. Feeding them with alcohol, feeding them with tobacco, with flowers, with anything that is meaningful to you, so that that chaos in some way is appeased. Chaos doesn't need to come here. I'm working with something else, setting sacred space before I begin any sincere spiritual endeavors. Sometimes there's setting of sacred space all the time, but whenever I'm sitting down to receive or to commune, I'm going to make sure that I have different containers set, because that is crucial right now for us. Thank you. Can you tell I have an itch trying to be discreet over here? Fuck discretion. Discernment, not discretion. I need you to be discerning of everything that's going on around you, because the false guides are getting in. Thank you. Why do the false guides get in? Well, they like your power. Because you are bright and shiny. And you don't know how powerful you are yet. So they are attracted to, like, oh my God, there is megalithic power there that's not being used. It's very easy for them to just kind of like, and think of it like a tick, right? A tick is not super scary, but at the same time, I don't want anything fucking feeding off my life force. No bueno. So this is when you get to come back in. Easiest way to do this is really to tap into truth of who you are. Take a moment just to breathe into that. The truth of your divinity, of your cosmic light. Thank you. They want to make sure that I say this thing as well. Anchoring up. You don't need to anchor to anything on this plane. You are here on this plane. Continually be here. But anchor up to something higher. So the higher is feeding you, not the lower is feeding you. Great. We're in a process right now of evolution. In order to evolve, things have to become cleaner and purer. So if you get contaminated in some way or participate in something that is, this is an opportunity for you to fucking get cleaner. That's it. It's not because you're bad. It's not because you were lazy. It's not because you had bad practices. It's not because you deserved it. It's a teaching. It's an opportunity for you to come the fuck back in and be like, oh, that exists. Didn't know that before. Not super scary. Thanks. Cool. Everything right now is shifting so rapidly and so quickly that things are moving. Things underneath us are shifting. This is our 3D grid, our era of time that is dissolving. But new things are coming into the light. This is the time for it. And especially you'll feel this as we're moving out of this Mercury retrograde, out of the sun in Aquarius and into Pisces, because we go very dreamy. We go very feely. So you might notice all of a sudden you have a different vision that you didn't have before. You can see now more clearly where you have been or where you are going. But this is also a time, they say, to clean house. Age of Pisces, never a better time to do it. In order for everything to be illuminated, some of the shit has to be illuminated as well, because you can't carry it forward with you. Because the refinement of what's happening ahead of us, it's so light, it's so pure in its vibration, you can't carry your garbage in with it. So there's a lot of shadow work that's being asked of you right now. Shadow work just means you're looking at your own shit. Your own shit is the only place you need to look. Nothing is going on outside of you. Do you remember that? We'll be teaching another full 3-week initiation in March in case you want to remember. I'm still putting together those dates. I've downloaded the content, but I'm not talking about it quite yet. Sa. Sa. You want to chant it with me a little bit? Sa. 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 Using any sacred words will also set a little bit of a container around you. If you know, not just know, it's not just knowing up here. If you can vibrate with the meaning of these words, if you have embodied the wisdom of them, and again, you know that I teach a lot of Egyptian stuff, but this body does not carry a lot of Egyptian stuff. Soul, yes. Body, I didn't get that. But what I did get was the Nordic ways. The Celtic ways, the ways of Avalon. So I have been working with the runes in this way. Can I not just know what this rune means, but can I vibrate with it? Can I gain its wisdom? You can see the flower of life behind me as well. Can I vibrate with the wisdom of this? So with the same sounds, it's not that you just know the sounds and you know what they mean. It's that you vibrate at it. And as you use your body as a tuning fork to make this noise, to create this vibration in the world, the universe responds to you like, oh, they know what's up. Fuck yeah. The universe is going to be looking for those of us who have got the right keys and are using them well. We will be the first they look at of like what needs to happen here. So sometimes you will be called into Galactic Federation meetings. Sometimes you will be asked to vote or participate in what's going on the planet because you are a way shower of the new ways. We are building the new earth, but we don't know what we're building. That's a super cool fucking loophole in it, right? Don't know what we're building. We know this one is going away. So you're being put into place. So anything that's going away right now, it's because you're being put into place and things are being cleared for you. So this evolution, this refinement of your soul, the purity of your soul is going to be even easier. We're talking really fast today. So this is also coming in from bigger than me. Ni, ki. Sa. 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 They say any type of breath work that you can be engaging with now meaningfully will also be of huge benefit to you. So we don't need you to be fearful that you are going to be hijacked. We need you to be vigilant. Fucking paying attention to how your body feels when you do these things. If any of it is just up here in the mental, or oh my God, that sounds, you're not there. All of what's happening right now as 3D is dissolving, is you are embodying 5D in a different way, where like you're walking in the world, you're like, yeah, I see that. You're watching for the new colors. You're watching for things that are untrue. You're watching for places where you see a glitch in the matrix. This is how you know you're going to be operating in 5D consciousness. Kinokuku. And I'm just also asking who it is that's helping me today. And he's laughing. Of course, it's Serapis. I recorded a podcast the other day, letting him channel through a little bit. So if there's anything pertinent, I'll get that to you as well. Thanks. Feeling good is very available to you right now. The chaos is part of the old way. So if you're in confusion, it means that you're in between timelines. You're in between those grids of 3D and New Earth. Thanks. You're a sovereign being and you don't recognize how powerful you are. These beings are trying to fuck with things a little bit. And they're fucking with them not just when you're doing your spiritual work. They're fucking with you in the ways that they are making you pay attention to the outside world. In what they're telling you, not that it's happening, I don't even want to go there, in what they are having you focus on. Asking you to focus on these things by way of news or social media or anything else. What they're asking you to focus on is where they are using your powers to create what they want. fuck that. I don't want to create what they want. I want to create what I want. I want to create what I've been asked to create here. And I certainly am one of those who was asked to create the new earth. And I'm like, fuck. I don't, I signed up for the wrong job. I want the one after the new earth is here. Like, I want to come and celebrate that, but I'm on the building crew. Cool. Maybe you are too. I know you see my little Winnie the Pooh mug. Don't ever take yourself too fucking seriously in all this. No way. No way. Because, thank you. How will you know if it's a false guide? False guides will make you feel really good about yourself. False guides will tell you they have something for you. No, they don't. False guides are going to be using your power in a way that gets them what they want, not what you want. So anytime you have one of those, really all that you have to do is like, no, thank you. As soon as you say no, because they have to respect that too. It's the superpower on this planet. You are the one who's evolving. This ascension is for you. Ascension is really for Gaia, but you're the vehicle through which it gets to happen. So when you wake up in these ways and are like, no, thank you, not going to do that anymore. You spend the time to clean yourself out, looking at why it made sense for a minute and forgiving yourself, coming back into those places of greater compassion. Your ability to love is profound. Our ability to vibrate in love allows us to find each other, because what's happening is we keep accessing higher states of love, and not just accessing it, because you saw me go up there, holding it, embodying it, becoming it. Time of becoming, I know. Thank you, Horace. Go back and watch that one too if it helps. But they wanted to come in with this real fast today because it needs to get out, so I'm not going to keep going on. Thanks. I think 17 minutes is plenty. Goodness, I wish... No, I don't. I'm glad that we were able to bring this through. I hope that it makes sense, and if there are more questions, you can join us over at Patreon, where we do a live Q&A. Happy to answer those questions. It's the easiest way. Nothing to be scared of. Bright one. Fucking ancient one. Shining one amongst the galaxies. This is your time. And anything in it's here that doesn't work, you're just like, out, no thanks. In that contract.